Good shit. All right, welcome to Whiskey Tango Talks. My guest today is Mr. Trevor Smith, Hot Sauce Trevor Smith.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right? How'd you come up with the fight name? That's different.
Well, that's a very good first question, and I was actually thinking about this the other day. So, in my younger years, I used to be a little bit crazy and kind of spice things up.
Okay.
So, I can't tell if it was I was a little bit crazy and kind of rambunctious when I went out, or it was more of the time I spent in the gym where they thought I was on a little bit of that sauce, so I was hot sauce. So it's probably a little combination of the both, that to be honest.
Okay, I like it. All right, so a little bit of history about yourself. Currently contracted with the UFC, or?
Yeah, currently under contract. I think I got one more fight on the current contract, so we're gonna play that one out. And
okay.
See, how much fun we have with this
your
next
record right now is 15 and what, 9?
Yep.
15 and 9.
Yes, sir.
So I looked at a few of your fights, the list of what I got to say, dude. My favorite thing about you as a fighter, like you got you as a person, and then you as a fighter.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about you as a fighter is you bang, bro. You bang, and that is what people come to the show to fucking watch.
Yeah.
You know, you got a lot of submissions underneath your belt, but you're not afraid to stand up and fucking punch. What is it about you that made you want to fight? Because you're what, 37, 38? 38 now.
38 years.
Right?
Young.
So how much longer do you think you got in the tank?
I think I'm going to go as long as my body lets me. It's kind of been the battle the last couple of years, but I really feel young at heart.
Yeah.
But to go back to the banging, because I just don't want to leave that out. Because you
you're
said
fine.
It right. There's many ways to like approach fights and camps, and for a while there it was just win, take dudes down, choke them out, do what you need to do. But since I came down in South Arizona here, it's been more like, I don't want to just win fights. And I know I have a long ways to go on the striking side and combining it all together, which is...
Dude, your last fight, you looked amazing.
Thank you.
You did.
I appreciate it.
You lost the decision, but you fucking looked amazing.
Yeah, great opponent. It was a great match out.
I thought you had it won, to be honest. My wife, who isn't a big fight fan, thought you won as well. So, yeah. But I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. It was a close fight, but you can't leave it to the judges, and you got to be a little more decisive. I think what won it in the end was Cummings a tough guy, by the way.
Yeah.
He's like 10-2 or 10-3 in the UFC now, so he's a real tough veteran. But he came out, took some great blows, and I think what won it for him, even with the smash, he broke his orbital in the first round. Dude came through it all.
Jeez.
In the third round, he got a knockdown on me.
Yeah.
And I think that knockdown in the judges' eyes changed it because I was able to reverse it and kind of beat him up for the rest of the round.
Yeah.
But the way that knockdown scored got it for him. But like you said, more to the fact of it's not just about winning fights. We're here to entertain and like put on shows.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason I don't go on social media and do that. Like I spent so much energy and time raising my kid. But until me, the fighter, until I put on better shows, like I like to bang and I'm working towards that. But until I can put on those shows where people are like, God, I love to see that heart that he displayed. I love the technique he displayed. And I love that he incorporated the stand-up and the ground game and all of it together to maul this dude. Let's start talking about this guy. Who is this guy? What makes him tick? I don't feel like I've earned that just yet.
No?
Not just yet. For some people, but for me...
Dude, you made it to the show.
Oh, yeah.
You made it to the fucking greatest show for MMA.
Thank you.
So I'm not gonna say you haven't earned that right yet. I mean, how many people can say that they successfully made it there? There's it's less than 1%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now you got all these fighters worldwide who are coming into UFC, and it's crazy, dude. You're there.
Yeah.
You got to think of the percentage of people and the fact that you made that shit. You got to give yourself a little more credit when credit's due, bro.
No, Derek, I appreciate you saying that. Bring it back to reality. But it's funny because my very first UFC, I actually had fight of the night. It was against Ed Herman. That was one of the most fun fights I've ever had in my life.
Short fuse, Ed Herman?
Short fuse.
Yeah.
It was my first UFC fight.
Tough.
It was in Seattle. We were both Pacific Northwest boys, and we went to war. God, where was I before this? Oh, Burt Watson. So this is my first. Burt Watson used to be the dude that would walk with us like, let's go, we rolling. And he'd be walking down the aisle, getting everybody. He was the hype man. So he took care of us. He made sure we were taken care of. If we needed something delivered to our room late at night, he would take care of us, make sure we were happy with what we were doing. But I remember the first meeting I had with him, he's like, shit. He's like, oh, you guys, part of the language. But he said, all you guys.
No, we cuss on Whiskey Tango Talks.
Yeah.
Feel free.
He's like, all you guys think this is the hardest thing in the world, making it to UFC. And this is Burt Watson, so he's kind of out there. He's like, you think this is the hardest thing? He's like, the hardest thing isn't making it to the UFC, it's staying in the UFC. So you fellas that are celebrating now better pay attention, because the hardest thing in the world ain't getting here, it's staying here.
That is the fucking truth. 100%. You got fighters right now like Matt Mitrione, whose contract is up with Bellator, and he's got 3 different companies. You got one in Japan, which I think you would excel at out there, by the way. It's, I don't know how you would feel about traveling to Japan, but shit, dude, that would be amazing. But you got Bellator and the UFC. So right now there's multiple avenues and outlets. If the UFC isn't in your future, would you take one of those other options?
Oh man, I mean, right now I'm just playing it day by day, dude. I am so blessed. I still got my contract, and I'm just looking forward to this next fight. I'm getting over a couple surgeries and getting back out there. And like you said, the last fight was like we were banging, we were getting after it. I can't wait to improve and grow from that person. I didn't have the performance, I didn't get the win against a tough dude.
Right.
But I can't wait to improve on that person that's showing up, not trying to take people down, but trying to take their heads off and trying to finish fights. I'm gonna get back to I wanna knock people when they're standing up, and I'm gonna get back to my ground game, which is finishing fools, which is what got me to the UFC.
Yeah, so what is your background originally in? Did you wrestle in high school or
what? Yes, I wrestled in high school, then went to Iowa State. Dude, my coach, so my college wrestling coach was actually Cale Sanderson.
Okay, I know exactly who that is.
Yeah, you're one of the greatest of college. You know Cale? What do you know about Cale? So,
I just know he was one of the greatest collegiate wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
He was an Olympian too, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
so I got to meet him early on in the career, helped him train for his Olympic gold in Beijing, but I was, there's this young kid that wrestled junior college and then met Cale Sanderson. Was like, dude, okay, that's the college I want to go to. I was probably over my head. I didn't take wrestling as serious, but I saw the opportunity. I was like, I'm going to get an education. I may as well go here and wrestle and be around some of the best athletes and really minds in the world. That's why he's winning at Penn State, because those dudes want to be around him. He knows how to win. He knows what to do. Yeah. 159-0 in college, 4 national titles. No one's ever done that.
No, I think the only person that compares to him in a sense, well, you have Kyle Dake. I'd say Kyle Dake compares to him just because Kyle Dake has won NCAA tournaments in different divisions. That's fucking hard to do. Yeah. Going up in weight, going down in weight, winning NCAA division titles at different weight classes is pretty fucking impressive. Yeah. It's like, being 205, winning at 205, going to 185, going up to, 175 weight class. That's impressive to me. Being able to
as well.
Being able to do all that. So you grew up in Washington, or because you said Pacific Northwest?
Yeah, I was born in Oregon, grew up, spent most of my life in Washington. Was blessed. My parents got a divorce in the 3rd grade. Moved in with my grandparents. Lived on the farm in the middle of nowhere, so I was just a blessing. But yeah, Pacific Northwest is kind of where the roots. The doom and gloom of Seattle and the Pacific Northwest.
I got you. So what brought you out to Arizona?
The Lolly's Arizona Combat Sports. I don't know if you've seen, a lot of the dudes that have represented that gym, and the Trevor and Todd Lally that started it 20 years ago. Like,
what's funny is when I started training, it was for Rage in the Cage out here in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
I was trained by Roland Sierra. Take that for what it's worth. I know it's kind of a joke. Had some amateur fights. Did pretty well. But a lot of the guys I had trained with left to go to AZ Combat Sports.
Oh, yeah.
So
even back. So how long ago was that?
Some of my training partners were Edwin DeWeese, Joe Riggs, Rico Rodriguez. Oh, God, there was a guy that fought Paul Buentello that we trained with, Adonia. He actually died in a boating accident out here in Arizona. But a lot of those guys like just kind of like faded and disappeared. So just Roscoe McClellan. He was a guy that was kind of up and coming, and then AZ Combat Sports and disappeared. But just a lot of old timers like that. That's who I first started training with. And, Roland was real famous for throwing newbies into the cage. So
this was your coach who threw you out to the wolves.
3 weeks into training was my first amateur fight.
Yeah, no thank you. You don't need coaches in your life like that. Not good for your health.
No, but I will say this: my one highlight to my fight career, I fought a guy named Greg Palomalu. Right, it was a relative of Troy Palomalu, and I lost via heel hook. I heel hooked him in the state of Arizona. Amateur, you're not allowed to do manipulation of joints.
So why did you have to go cheat out there?
Yeah, right. I won, but it was no contest, dude. I put my heart and soul in that fight. Yeah. I was in the locker room crying like a bitch after,
okay.
And I felt this hand just grab me on the back and tell me, "Hey, dude, you could put on one hell of a show." And I looked back, and it was Mark fucking Kerr, the smashing machine. Yeah. And then he told me, "Don't give up. You got it." Blah blah blah. You know. But just lo and behold, through life, got in a lot of trouble, and that took me to the military. So that's where my whole fight game ended. But it's people like you I admire, because even at 38, with your record what it is, you're still willing to go out there and fucking do it.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, man, I fight some of the toughest in the world, but I think that's why people enjoy. Like, I feel like I'm a lot younger than 38 physically, like strength wise, and just.
I would have never guessed 38.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I would have never guessed.
But that spirit of being a dude, like, honestly, that's all that got me through my life. Like, the wrestling and all that, I wasn't a great athlete. I had some injuries that kind of kept me back, but I was a dude that was just like, you're gonna have to really kill me to put me away, not giving up. That just means a lot in this world. Like I tell my boy, he has much more genetic capabilities than me, but I'm telling him that mental side, because everybody says it's mental, but that ability to fight and overcome and get to deal with the fuck yous and the no's and you're not good enough and only 1 in 100,000 or 1 million make it, like most of the coaches say to the football players.
Yeah.
That is some of the worst shit you can ever say to anybody in the world. If you want them to achieve, man, people should know that they're capable of achieving anything they want. And if they invest the time and the focus and the effort,
fuck yeah,
they can do whatever they want. So those coaches say, "Oh, you're 1 in 1 million." That's why they coach kids that are 1 in 1 million. The coaches actually believe in their kid. They see it happen. They see lightning strike all the time. They don't get lucky. They know there's a formula that if you support and you believe in somebody and you take the right steps and they want to work hard and they got the right personality, you're going to see success.
Gotcha. So you left wrestling and decided what's next? And I mean, how'd you get into wanting to fight?
Man, I never think that far ahead. That's probably one of my biggest weaknesses. I just stumbled into it.
You stumbled into it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so explain how it happened.
I got done with college, was kind of knucklehead, did the wrestling thing. Okay. Lived right in the same street as a bar, so we always fighting behind the bars. Had some war stories. I wasn't Hot Sauce back then. I was Mr. Pipes or just Trevor, the dude that would get in fights on the weekend. So I went from that to watching a little bit, had a kid, grew up, and then I started training in the jiu-jitsu gym and did a good job like choking those guys out. And they said, "Well, why don't you take a fight?" And I said, "You know what? I might just do that." And one thing led to the next.
What was the first organization you fought for?
Oh, man, I can't even remember. It was some mall organization. They rented out the mall.
You're kidding.
Cleared out the seats. It was in like a goddamn. It was
what
like
state?
I fought in a Nordstrom Rack or some shit like that.
What state was it in? Do you remember that?
It was Washington State, just outside of Olympia. Okay. It was really awesome. It's kind of where I grew up. Was out in like Weyerhaeuser country. Old growth, middle of the wilderness, where no one's gonna hear you scream when shit goes down, type of place.
Deliverance.
Yeah, it was deliverance come back, so I felt right at home.
Gotcha. Okay, so win your first fight, or did you lose? What happened?
I won the first one, yeah.
And what, amateur rules, pro rules? What, you just went straight into being pro, or?
It was an amateur. I took 2 amateurs, and went straight to being a pro.
Jeez, dude, that's balls.
Yeah, it was, well, shit. I was like, I'm getting old, I may as well do it. I was like 28.
28?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
28, 29.
So you've been in the fight game almost 10 years, 11?
Yep, almost all of it in Zuffa and Strikeforce.
Gee.
So this will be my 16th, 17th fight for the company coming up.
Yeah, that's fucking...
You don't realize. So I had basically my whole career. So you hear something like, oh, what's he, 15, 16 and 9, whatever it is like that. Like, oh yeah, it's not very good. But you realize almost every single one of those fights was at the top level with
high level.
The Tim Kennedys, Ed Hermans, Titus Latis, the guys that fought for titles in Strikeforce.
I think that was probably your toughest fight.
Which one?
Titus Latis.
Yeah, which is some of my worst. I just didn't show up on some of those days. And you get into the psychology of fighting and how.
I'm glad you're bringing that up, because I feel like there's fighters in this world, and I'm not saying you're one of them, because I can't say I've watched enough of your fights to say you're one of them. But you look at people like Vitor Belfort, and he plays down to some of his opponents when he's a far superior fighter. And you brought up the psychology of that. Why? What is it that makes you think differently when you're going against somebody? Like you're standing across the ring from somebody. Mm-hmm. Why isn't that person the same person that you fought last week? You know they might have different techniques, but there's still one common goal.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely, I mean, it comes down to each individual and what their skeletons are in their closet when they're standing across with somebody. Maybe it's they don't believe in themselves. Maybe, they've been told they can't do it. They get on that bigger stage. They don't have the confidence. There's a million different things. For me, I know in particular, my psychology, I get a little overactive, overstressed, overthink things.
Yeah.
So it's more of a sympathetic stimulation, right? So you have your parasympathetic, which I think of as the brake. You have your sympathetic nervous system, which I think is your gasoline accelerated. Woo, we're going to fight. Let's go on. Let's get that blood flowing on muscles. Let's get going. But when you have to deal with that foot on the gas pedal for 2 months leading up to a fight, putting your foot on the floor the last 2 days, thinking about how you want to bash someone's brains in.
Yeah.
Those negative hormones in that fight or flight start to add up. And I think that's why you see some of these guys get clipped early in their fights. And I won't attribute any of my mistakes that I've made to, this and that. But I think the stimulus that your body and your brain is under and the hormones your body secrete make a big difference when you go out there and fight. Whether you get dropped early on. You could talk about hydration and all that too. Yeah.
100%. I'm a big believer in primal psychology. Mm-hmm. Like runners. Runners, for instance, their testosterone levels are lower than somebody who bodybuilds. Why? Because their body's in a constant state of running. That's like back when you think about a lion chasing you, your body lowers the testosterone so you don't have babies because you're in constant fight or flight. You see what I'm saying? So like you were saying, when your body secretes different things, you're 100% correct in my opinion. So
yeah, in all aspects, whether it's positive psychology or just living your day.
Yeah.
One of the things, like I remember, everybody gets down times in their lives, but one of those times I was focused on positive psychology, and it was primarily for my kid. Led me into the studies of being a good parent, because that is actually my full-time job is being a dad. I know it's so weird, and I don't talk about it, but there's not very many men in this world that raise a kid all by themselves, and those that do usually have a lot of help. Like my primary job and fighting I love, and I invest whatever time I can when I'm doing my primary job, which is raising a kid. But I was basically a child raising a child at a young age. Someone that was almost arrested development as a 27-year-old man was really on the inside a 17, 18-year-old boy that'd been wrestling all of his life, having shit paid for, mommy, daddy camps, scholarships, whatever. And then you go out in the real world and you're 24, 25, and you're going, God damn. Now I gotta grow up and do shit? It's
fucking weird, right? Yeah. I was a single mother, raised 3 boys. Like, I just, growing up, it was always hand-me-downs for me. So when I finally had money, what the fuck do you think I did with it? I blew it all, And then it was like, I'm fucking 29 now, and there's these things called, bills. And everything kind of set
credit
in.
Score?
Yeah, what? Yeah, exactly.
Taxes? Damn.
Yeah, it becomes surreal. Men don't really grow up until they need to grow up. So I'm glad you were there, for your kid and decided to make that change. How old's your son now?
He's 11.
11.
Yeah, kills it. He's on an all-star team, about to go into 6th grade, doing 8th grade. You can brag about people, but man, you can't take credit for a kid and his motivation. Like, despite having a dick for a dad, he's really grown up to be quite an amazing kid. So it's been the most wonderful thing that's ever happened to me, to combine combat, to combine violence and being in the UFC and kind of being this journeyman that's been at a top level battling back and forth, reinventing himself, trying to learn, trying to grow, but also being a parent on the side, raising another little human being that you want the world to be prepared to go kick some ass and take some names. It's very hard to do, especially today.
How much do you preach education to your son?
Oh, it's everything. Yeah, his education's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things that growing up, I was never talked to about.
Nor was I.
You know, it was just kind of one of those things like, oh, just do your work. And then the back was turned, and what do you think I did? I fucked off, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got my GED, and after the military, decided, okay, going to college. Went to college, got a engineering degree, and
Nice.
it was just like one of those things where it was like, oh, fuck, I could do that.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's
But look
weird.
at you, evolve without mommy and daddy saying you had to do it and preparing you for it and
Yeah.
going through those difficulties and growing into the person that sits before us now, you know?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be this dude, you didn't have to go through those struggles.
It's definitely life lessons for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you mind if I ask where your son's mother went, or is that?
No, it's cool. She lives in Washington, so he'll go on the summers and like vacations and stuff. He'll do those things. God, what was the image you were just saying? It was so important. It was you were talking about education. I didn't want to go past it.
Okay.
You talked about whether it was the most important thing. Oh,
Yeah.
Most people don't have a why as far as like, dude, you need to get good grades because I said so.
Yeah, because I said so.
You need to get educated because I'm gonna paddle your ass if you don't. Instead of, man, the more you expand your vocabulary, the more you expand your knowledge, the more you'll know about the world, the more vivid you'll see everything. The larger your vocabulary, literally the more you see in interactions and visualizations, everything you do throughout your life will be more vivid and in color. The more of an education you have, the more of this language you learn, the more you learn to communicate and appreciate the arts and the things around you, the more your mind grows and the larger your vocabulary is of the day, and the more fulfilled you can live your life.
Yeah.
And we're never explained that. No one ever tells us the why of get an education because I fucking said so. No, get an education so you can think for yourself and you see the world in vivid color.
Well, since we're on the subject, why isn't that schools teach us about these things that you and I discuss? Why not life lessons? Like, who the fuck needs algebra 2? Who the fuck needs calculus when we could have learned about taxes?
At a higher level, but there does need to be that baseline education.
So my guest yesterday said in New Zealand, check this out, bro. They drop you off. This is a curriculum in the middle of the woods for 2 days, and you have to survive on your own. That is curriculum in high school.
Sign me up.
And I said, there is nothing like that here.
What age range is this?
That was I believe he said sophomore.
This better not be a co-ed camp because I would, at that age, I would probably get into trouble.
No, but it's not. It's dude. It's not. But it's not a camp. It's in the middle of the woods. They expect you to create shelter, fire, and all that. And this is in New Zealand.
And find your wife and form a family. How long are they on this island?
Yeah, go out there and kill deer. And yeah, 100%. But yeah, it's just crazy to me because like you think about curriculum like that, and it's like, holy fuck, dude! Like that would have been something that drew me to school. You know, learning about fucking bills and shit. You know, like stuff like that would have been great to know. Economy class only taught you so much. Yeah, but
no, I agree, man. The education system needs to change, but with politics and education, it's really difficult to dive in. And
yeah,
it's hard to even say we have the expertise, but I do think you need some outside minds like you and MMA community and just people in general thinking outside of the box.
Well, I have an outside the box topic for you.
Which is?
Check this out. Why is there not? Go. You feel free, bro. If you want more whiskey.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna
okay.
take another.
Yeah. So.
I still have to drive at some point.
Yeah, right.
There's a child that's going to starve to death. Right. Off the wall idea.
No, it's not really off the wall. It's just kind of a topic that needs to be touched upon. And you as a fighter, I want to know your opinion. All right. Mm-hmm. So you have all these fighters that the NFL has the NFLPA, Players Association. Where is there a fighters union for MMA, and why is it not being discussed? You have so many fighters who suffer from injuries, head trauma, stuff like that later in life. But there's the UFC, and as far as my knowledge, Bellator, Strikeforce, One Fighting, Pride back in the day has done nothing to take care of you as a fighter. Their product. You guys are their product. You are what puts fucking people in the seats. Why aren't you guys being taken care of?
Yeah, I don't know. So the first thing that comes to mind, it was hard to even, scrutinize too closely the rest of it, but the first thing that comes to mind is for these football players and these basketball players, you have to think of the filtration process that goes through it. To be a professional in football or basketball and get to that highest level and have an association that represents you, I think you need to go through a certain filtration process, and right now there's none there. You can go take 2 amateurs fights, and next fight you're a professional. So we need an association for every Joe Schmo on the street that's had 3 street fights, and now he's the next UFC champion.
No, but for somebody who has made it to where you're at, you don't think you should be compensated later in life for any kind of long-term injury?
I sure hope so.
But you see what I'm saying? Like,
I see what you're saying.
Why isn't there should be a fighters union?
Does a guy that fights at the local casino and does it for
no.
5 times a year?
He's trying to make it to the top.
His life is like, I'm brain dead because I went on this reservation and fought 5 times every year.
Okay, but just like this, college doesn't have something like that. They make it to the show. Once you make it to the show, you become part of that union. That's how I feel you should be.
Oh, so you're saying for just UFC or just fighting in general?
I would say UFC. I would definitely say
the
UFC.
Off the start, I was just giving you my off the top response. But on deeper analysis, I mean, these guys pay for it with brain cells and damage, but they're never promised anything at the start. But I think the realization is people are making money off the loss of memory and the damage to their brain, where maybe, there should be some compensation later in life. But that's going to have to be established. I think right now, this is more of a journeyman sport. This is a barbaric sport where I think people
you're modern day gladiators. Fuck yeah.
People do it to prove something to themselves and not necessarily worry about the long term of their life. Just like I said, planning wasn't my strong suit. Everybody thinks they're Hercules and are a little different. The shots ain't going to hurt me, and the sparring 3 times a week didn't knock out that many brain cells, but. Everybody's human, but I think there are ways. I mean, that's why I'm a big fan of meditation and rehabilitation through eating appropriately, exercising appropriately. That's what keeps you young. Whether you're a fighter or whether you're a dude that sit in your office all day, you gotta exercise your body. You gotta exercise your brain if you want to live for a long time and be functional.
100%. But also, that fucking straight left down the pipe isn't fucking helping shit. Like, I just fear for certain people later in life. Roy Nelson can only take so many fucking shots. He's hard to knock out, but that's
a good guy too.
That's a long-term effect that's going to come back to haunt you. So I don't know. Maybe it's something you look into. Maybe that later in your fight career, you come up with a union. Fuck, why not?
Somebody will eventually. It's gonna happen.
Why not be the pioneer, motherfucker?
I don't know if I'm gonna be the tip of the spear in this field. I'll have time dedicated in other areas, but I think somebody needs to. I mean, you see the repercussions in the WWE and the NFL. Dudes killing their wives and killing themselves and fucking losing it. Mental health goes far beyond MMA, but it's definitely worse. Those concussive blows change your attitude. They change your aggression. They change your. So have you ever heard of the? I don't want to get too.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah. No. Trust me.
Have you ever heard of the triune brain model?
What was it?
Triune.
Triune brain model. Go ahead.
So basically, what it says.
We love this shit. So feel free.
I brought a handy model here.
Oh, okay.
What you're saying about the triune brain model is to pretend like my hand's a brain, right? Mm-hmm. So we have our reptilian brain, this brain stem.
Rob, cut to the wide view so you can see this.
So this brain stem that runs here at the base of our spine, right? That handles all of our autonomic functions, our breathing, our urination, all those secretions and things that are going on below the surface, but that we don't.
Where your pituitary gland, all that is.
Absolutely, everything's affected through those nerves, through our body, through movement. So that's our reptilian brain, our most base brain.
I love it.
Then we have our limbic region, which we'll say is my thumb and this pinky, which come to sit here, right in our midbrain, right? So this is our emotion, like fight, flight, adrenaline. I love you, I hate you. This is what they call the mammalian brain.
Right.
So reptiles don't have this guy here. This is strictly for us. I love you, baby. Ooh, protect my family. This is
emotion.
Emotion right here. So what we have over top is our prefrontal cortex, which is your human brain, right?
Right.
Which wraps over, connects everything from the top down.
That's where you get your art.
This is where you get your art, your
Language.
forward thinking.
Yes.
Oh, pay my taxes, do my homework. I want a family. I want pretty girls. I better get an education. Whatever your motivation is, this is your visualization of the future. So as we start to lose our minds and get perturbed, we start to come loose. We start to have what I call a low-level response, where we go from top down. We start to lose that control that, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing, this is why I'm working for the future, to, oh my God, this sucks, I hate life, what the hell am I doing here? Fuck you, I want to kill you.
Yeah.
To, oh my God, this fight, it's on, I'm going to kill you. And then you're in a fight, you've been stressed out for the last 3 days, and the doozy is taken out right away. So when I had my kid was young, it'd be like, oh, are you having a low road response? So you're losing that top avenue, you're starting to get emotional, now you're getting crazy, so you're starting to lose control of your brain. And one of the things, not to go on too long about this, but one of the things that showed me the greatest improvement in my life and in my sport, in my attention span, and my mood, was meditation, which gave me that top-down connectivity, which took my prefrontal cortex into my midbrain, into my reptilian brain, calmed me down, relaxed me, and kept me in a state where instead of reacting to things that happened in my life, I had the time to respond. And that was through, just like you got your swollen ass biceps over there, you got those from exercising that muscle.
Right.
If you sat down and meditated and has those visualizations, you'll be working those areas of your brain with the same intensity you pump your legs, your biceps, your body when you go to the gym.
I like it, dude. Like, you're a deeper dude than I met. You're like, at the gym, we're meatheads. You know, and for those that don't know, that's where we met, just in passing in the gym.
Shout out.
Dude, I'm not even joking. For like 3 years, I seen you, and I'm like, I fucking know this guy from somewhere, but I couldn't pinpoint it. And then I'm watching a fight one night, and I'm like, that's him. That makes sense.
That was the last one, right? The last one I had that you saw. And
yes. But then I went back and watched a few of your other fights, so, you know. Yeah. So, by far, what is it that you want from your fight game? Like, what's the longevity of it for you?
Yeah, that's this thing that's difficult and been on my mind.
Because do you have a 9-to-5 job other than being a dad?
No, it's been up until the last 4 or 5 months. Now I started helping out with the gym and got back into the sales and the grappling that goes on there. And recruiting people and dude, changing people's lives, because people see MMA and they see violence like it's so evil and, oh, look at these guys barbaric bashing each other's brains in. If you were to meet the kids and the people that come into my gym that I now
You're speaking to the choir, bro. Trust me.
And see the change in their life from the mastery that they learn from their bodies, from the confidence of knowing somebody ain't just gonna be able to fuck with me on the street. God damn, that's satisfying.
There's something about jiu-jitsu. Dude, I don't know what it is. I left as technically a purple belt when I left jiu-jitsu. I did it for 8.5 years. And the camaraderie between you and another person in a physical battle, that once you're done, that you could look that person in and shake their hand, it's a different feeling. It's a different vibe. And until you do it, people don't understand it. And and what's weird to me is I would actually tell women, more women need to get into jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily MMA, but jiu-jitsu, because a woman doesn't understand combatives the way that they should unless they do fight. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu is a great bridge and a deterrent for people who, want to harm a woman. Mm-hmm. I just think it's an awesome bridge into that, to where it's controlled. They feel safe, they feel comfort, they understand kind of what's going on. So I would agree with you 100% when you say the character of a person from when they start to where they're at now it's night and day. Yeah. Night and day for sure. 100%, man. Yeah. It's definitely different. It's like you said, it's almost, because you meditate, it's almost like meditation. So, are you good?
Well, dude, you know what's scary? Yeah. I had to create some room here.
You're all right.
But you know what's terrifying is there's a lot of dudes that aren't that much different than the women now. even the dudes that get in a significant number of street fights, like, think they're just fucking badasses. So I can tell you there's a wide gap in society between the guys that watch this shit and have ever really tried it. Because the widening gap is a lot of these dudes are about as tough as many as the women that come in, even with the strength discrepancy. So that's not to like knock on anybody, but it's saying, like, I guarantee, like, I was kind of raised by my grandpa. And I can tell you the guys raised now, even the guys in my generation are a little bit softer. And I even have to fight it myself.
Right.
Not being as soft, because there are some soft men and there's some soft women. But that, like you said, the mastery of your body, whether you're a man or woman, and to learn that you can defend yourself, whether it's on your ground and your feet, is empowering as shit.
It is.
So any parent with a kid that doesn't have the confidence or getting bullied, get your ass in a class.
Wrestling.
Get your kid to
boxing,
a fucking gym. Boxing,
jiu-jitsu.
wrestling, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Find a gym that does all three, and let your kid fucking grow and prosper. Because everybody wants to put them in this bubble. Put them in a fucking gym where they get, slapped around, choked out, have to learn to defend themselves, have to survive through the suck, instead of going straight to the fucking Fortnite and playing on their virtual hero.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm a bitch in real life, but I got a fucking level 100 fucking,
Yeah, character.
tomato head on Fortnite. I'm trying to think what my hero is and what dance I do. But
You're right.
I got an 11-year-old kid, so I play a little bit.
Oh, shit. Going back to the union or fighters association, right?
You're trying to get it.
No,
you're
I'm not
trying to cause a conflict.
No, I'm not trying to cause a conflict. I just want you taken care of. That's my personal opinion. I want fighters taken care of. Conor McGregor, Khabib, Henry Cejudo, Cain Velasquez. Okay, you got people who do different things. You got these guys that make their name behind a fucking microphone. Okay, why should they get paid different than you if you're winning? If they're winning and you're winning, why are contracts not open? Peyton Manning got paid X amount of money. Tom Brady got paid this amount of money.
Yeah.
These were their numbers. This is his numbers, right? In football, basketball, baseball, contracts are wide the fuck open. People know about what these players make.
Yeah.
Why is it that fighters aren't being compensated equally? Like, look at fucking Mighty Mouse Johnson. The guy was let go from the UFC.
I actually lived in Kirkland, so I was right down the street from him. Mighty Mouse is a great guy.
Right, but he was let go, and he's arguably one of the greatest fighters of all time, and the money just wasn't there for him. He wasn't getting paid like a heavyweight.
It's an entertainment sport. That's why I'm kind of the person I am now, because I realized at the end of the day, guess what? You are to some extent a gladiator and an entertainer, which I didn't embrace until later in my career and now.
Right.
Like, you're not there just to win a fight and get paid. You're there to fucking have a great time, to let some leather fly, and then to show your personality.
That's you, and
that's what people tune into, though. If you don't have the personality, you don't want to throw the leather, you don't want to have the fun, you don't want to do those things, people don't want to watch you. If you don't have that value, Mighty Mouse is great. He's improving, and he's amazing, one of the best in the sport.
This is what I want to hear.
If he's not slinging leather, if he's not getting crazy, and people don't want to tune in and watch him.
He's fighting to win. He's not fighting to entertain.
Yeah, which is... How do you blame him for that, dude? This is the most primitive sport in the world. Whoever wants to lose a fight?
Dude, there's a reason why Rome was Rome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 100%...
Greco-Roman. Let's throw these guys around.
I'm 100% with you, dude. Like, I'm not a big Donald Cerrone fan, right?
You are or aren't?
I am.
Yeah.
Talks the talk.
I'm more of a fan after this week. And
dude, he's the Dan Marino of MMA. He's never gone to the dance and won a title, but he's that guy that just fucking does it, And that to me is entertaining. That's entertaining. Yeah. Even like you cannot not root for that motherfucker.
No, I agree. I'm a fan, especially after this last fight and then following him over the last few years. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And I agree. And it's because like he's got an aggressive style and all that, but guess what? He's done it enough. He's one of those dudes. Like, I've had people been in his corner. He talks about he's fucking backstage. He'll talk about himself. I'm sure you can YouTube it. He's the guy in the fucking back that's crying. Like, why the fuck do I do this? Why the fuck am I going out here, dude? Fuck this shit. I'm not doing it.
Really?
He still goes out. He shits his pants, fucking saddles up, and shows up anyway.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys that you think like, oh, fucking love him, but he's one of those guys that's overcome those demons. And I think that's one of the things that keeps me coming back is it's hard as fuck to walk through that stage, to convince yourself to go out there, to perform in front of all those people, to listen to the assholes on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever.
Yeah.
Whether you do more or less of that, you're gonna hear people talk shit. And these are all the dudes from the couch that never done it a day in their life, or maybe they did in a week, or beat the dudes up down the street. But they're all there to tell you what you should have done in that fight against that other top level professional. And fucking God bless their souls. I hope they all go to the gym because I love it. I love that confidence because that's the next champion. The person that got that confidence and watches it and comes in and learns it.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah. What are your skeletons, bro? You've mentioned skeletons quite a bit during this podcast.
I avoid skeletons. I don't know. I don't got too many skeletons, to be honest. I usually let shit get right out in the open.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
Do you have a major skeleton? Have you discussed some of the skeletons in your closet?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, I have. Yeah, we had a hypnotherapist on named Rich Orndorff.
Oh dude, why didn't you invite me during that same session?
You want to come on?
Oh, if you bring him.
No,
back.
check this out, because him and his buddy.
Hypnotherapy would interest me for sure.
Would you like to come on? I'll make sure we get you. Yeah.
Fuck
No, yeah.
I'll be the guinea pig.
Yeah, definitely be fucking interesting. Coming from the aspect of being a fighter, he would love to have you. I'm sure. My biological father serving 4 life sentences. I've never spoke to the guy since I was 9.
Yeah, that's rough.
That would probably.
That's your number one demon.
Well, dealt with molestation as a kid.
Yeah.
And
by the man or family members or
by my biological father.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. So that was for me. That was Have you seen the movie Radio Flyer? It's about a brother.
Football player?
It's about brothers, and the older brother would protect the younger brother from being assaulted sexually and physically.
Yeah.
That was like my upbringing. My brother, who's 5 years older than me,
would protect you from this situation.
All
They
the
couldn't
time.
do it all the time, obviously.
Exactly.
Fucking crack.
Yeah. So it was, So when Rich came on, it was one of those things where he kind of opened up as a therapist. Mm-hmm. And then I opened up as a therapist.
Now, did he relate to something that you'd been through?
Dealt with the same shit I did.
Experience? Yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder he related and opened up. Absolutely.
No, he opened up first, which was crazy as a therapist. Yeah.
That was straight on your podcast, and was that you coming out to the world, or?
Yeah. 100%, dude. That's what this is. This is a fucking conversation where we have a few drinks. Cheers. Yeah. We have a fucking few drinks, and we have an organic conversation. This isn't a fucking interview.
Being wildly popular.
I hope it becomes popular.
And they fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, people got skeletons. The problem is going to be the people that do the research before they meet you. Do they want to deal with facing those demons?
I'm not looking to exercise anyone's demons. You had just brought up skeletons a few times, so I just wondered if you had any. The way you spoke about it, you're right. Most fighters have troublesome lives, man.
Yeah.
So you said your parents had been divorced at a young age, and you went and lived with your grandparents. I didn't know if you were going to speak on that or not. So.
No, I can go there, and I think,
go ahead, man. Yeah.
The effect of in utero, like the stress that your mom is under while she's even pregnant with you, has such an effect on the development of the child, because of my situation, like even when I wrestled, I would always get like fairly nervous for fights and even street fights. But street fights I could handle because it was just me like getting that stimulation and that Hulk strike for a little bit. But what happened when you got to build it up for fights?
Yeah.
It starts to be a negative. So when you check out like something like the polyvagal theory and you think about the negative hormones and the effect that it has on your brain and the way people basically become billy goats in my estimation, by having that buildup of cortisol in their brain, by having that buildup of negative hormones, they basically go like billy goat. So it's fight or flight. Where a billy goat, they lock their legs and fall over.
Yeah.
So they take that little shot to the head, and some of these dudes billy goat and fall over.
No fucking joke. That's for real. My issue with fighting, not in the cage, but when on the street, was I dealt with physical abuse growing up. So after I would fuck somebody up in a street fight, I would get emotional and cry about it and want to help them. Because I dealt with that growing up.
Yeah.
And
you all of a sudden become the person you hate. You became the person that assaulted and caused injury.
You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a little fucked up, like, you know, and that happened more than once, and that's when I realized, like, I gotta hone my abilities, and that's why I started jiu-jitsu, and that's why I wanted to fight professionally when I decided to and shit like that.
That's why you become the person you are today, because you'll challenge yourself. You'll look at those skeletons in your closet, and you'll make a fucking approach.
Yeah, fuck
like you said, most people today, fuck you, dude, get out of here. I'm not facing those dudes.
Yeah.
We're the rare percentage that overachieve and do the things you've done, coming from fucking kind of a shitty base.
Right.
Not that foundation and granite that you're looking for, but overcoming those obstacles in life and becoming the person they are. That's a testament to your personality and your perseverance to overcome that shit and become stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, dude. I fucking love it, though. So, what do you do to meditate? Is it a certain form of meditation, or?
Yeah. So I've been slacking.
Oh.
It's like those people that are in the gym that go, no, I know it's good for me and I should do it and I want the six-pack abs, but I just don't have time.
Right.
Like, I will tell you, I went through a phase in my life where I was like more depressed and down than ever, and I'm like, man, I don't like to feel this the way that I feel right now. Like, how can I change this? And I started to research positive psychology and interpersonal neurobiology and the way that our brains and our emotions affect us. And dude, it was a great endeavor. But my basic strategy, and what I tell most people that are learning to meditate, is I talk about triangular breathing, and I talk about visualizations.
Yeah, I'm big on visualization and meditation with that. Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, dude.
So I'll give you the quick overview of like what I did and what was most successful to me, and then you tell me like the things that you did and were amazing. Because briefly, what I would do is I would do triangular breathing. I would you're focused on we'll say three things. The first is you got to be empathetic and you got to be compassionate with where you're at right now. Like, you're like, oh, fuck, I lost my attention. God, you're such an idiot. Piece of shit. How do you're 10 seconds in, there's a first breath and you're already losing
I tell myself I'm a piece of shit all the time.
If it's got you where you are now.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. There's days
one of the first things you're going to do is you're going to learn to be compassionate with yourself.
Yes, like, and that's why I tell myself I'm a piece of shit, because I realize I'm still learning. Yes. At 35 years
old,
this? I'm still fucking learning.
You think you're a piece of shit, but you're actually a great person because you're still learning. So look to reframe that. You're not a piece of shit. You're human.
Yeah.
You're still learning. And you're
mistakes.
One of the best because you're learning.
Yeah.
So find a way to rephrase that. I know it's getting a positive effect for you, but if you can take a way to rephrase that so it's not in the negative context of you're a piece of shit, you're a learning motherfucker.
Right.
If you want to be negative a little bit, like, you're a learning and growing motherfucker. Go get it, you learning, growing motherfucker. Instead of, no, you're not a piece of shit. You're a dude that overcomes and perseveres. So let's get rid of the negativity. But what I would do, I would visualize on vivid images. So pick a spot you love. For me, I spent a little time in a beach in Hawaii, Kanapali. Love the place. So I see myself right on the beach with the raging waters out in front of me, and I'm sitting there. So when you're breathing, I'm doing triangular breathing. So I'm breathing in for 5 seconds, I'm holding for 5 seconds, and then I'm releasing for 5 seconds. So the way that would look if you bring colors in, I'm breathing through my nose, into my belly, into my body, orange, amber energy that's fucking making me strong, making me powerful. So as you breathe that orange, amber energy into your body, you're breathing in for 5 seconds, and then I'm holding it down in my stomach and letting it emanate through my body for 5 seconds. So I'm literally visualizing in my third eye. So if you can see yourself sitting in this room, if we were sitting here, I would be on a beach. You'd see sand, you'd see waves lapping up maybe on my feet, and you see me breathing in this orange energy from the environment around me, making my body strong, making me grow. And you see me holding in my stomach and just glowing, making me strong, healing anything that was bothering me. And then what you see in the third is you see blue energy coming out my spine, up into the atmosphere as I exhaled all the negative energy out in the atmosphere. Which everybody else in the world uses as fertilizer that grows their relationships and makes everything better. So then I start the cycle over again.
Draw it in.
Breathe in for 5.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold it in my belly tight. Let it emanate.
Breathing techniques, man. Fuck yeah,
and then
I love
I'm
this.
going to release out my spine as I push my belly button into my spine. any negative thoughts, things that irritate me, pissing me off, dude cut me off in traffic, whatever it is.
Fuck that guy, right?
Left me in shitty reviews, thought I was a cocksucker, I lived like a pussy, whatever it is. Blow it straight in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that negative, that bullshit, the rest of the world is going to feed off of, and they're going to grow, and they're going to do the same thing, and the cycle's going to repeat.
How insignificant are we? I mean, you got deep right there. How insignificant
We're the
are
most
we?
significant thing in the universe, in the world. There's nothing beyond our reality and the lives that we're living. So, like, I like the nihilist approach that nothing matters and we're just here for nothing. But at the end of the day, this is the only experience you're going to get. So whether you want to philosophize on what happens to us afterwards.
You know what you're here for, dude?
Enjoy the moment.
You know what you're here for?
What am I here for?
To pass this on to your son.
Oh, absolutely.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's fucking, yeah. So, visualization for me. What's up? Oh, yeah, go ahead. By all means.
Go ahead. Yeah.
We just got deep.
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
deep.
Visualization for me, bro. Right? I'm a huge fucking believer in seeing what you want to achieve. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. So the first time I ever hit 405 on bench, the first night I tossed and I fucking turned and left and right and I couldn't fucking think, and next day I went in, not only did I hit it once, I hit it twice, right? I was like, fuck yeah. So the other day at the gym, I hit 405 for fucking 5 reps, right? Mm-hmm. And I looked at my buddy, I said, what do you think? He goes, 495, bro. Throw in an extra 45. Let's fucking do this. And so for the next 2 minutes, I did nothing but visualize 495. 495. Not me pressing it, just the number. Just the number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got underneath that motherfucker, and I hit it.
Oh, man.
And it was just like, to me, that's been my dream. 495 has been my dream since I started lifting.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did it. Monkey off my back, bro. Monkey off my back.
Yeah.
You know? So, like you said, visualization is everything. 100%.
So how'd you feel? How'd you feel after you moved that weight?
Sore as fuck.
Really?
That's almost 5 pounds off of fucking 500 pounds, bro. I'm 238.
We're moving some weight. Do you need a survey over there?
Yeah. You know what I mean? 238 pounds pushing. No.
We didn't check any IDs.
She's a young. Yeah. Producer's daughter's in today, helping out, learning the ropes. Yeah, but no.
Yeah, God, I forget. We got to keep this more PG-13.
No, not at all. Not at all.
How old are you, young lady?
Old enough to
15.
party. No.
My boy's 11, going on 21, so she's one of your biggest fans?
This whole show.
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter's 6 going on 16, so, you know, that's how that goes.
That's how they grow up.
Yeah.
It's all the McDonald's, I tell you.
Right.
But, dude, where were we? Because you touched on, like, such a few, like,
oh, dude, we are wherever you want to be. Let's touch on this, man. Do you know who your next fight is?
We haven't said that. I got about a month of rehab. So I tore an MCL.
Okay.
So I had, after my December fight, the first round, I threw a fucking mean body kick, right? So you're an orthodox, you're fighting a southpaw.
Yeah.
But their death is that just power. You're 10, power 10, throwing that right kick to the southpaw.
Right.
All day, gonna get him in the body. And the first time I threw in the fight, I blasted him right in the belly, right in the freaking bread basket. I could feel him hurting too, because he actually tried to go for a shot afterwards. But as I landed, I felt that knee rip, and we kept going. But dude, yeah. So I had a couple injuries. I had that surgery after that, and then I started really getting into it. I was ready to book a fight. I couldn't wait to show it. Bro, I turned vegan. I got crazy about this shit. I was leaving meat. I was leaving the souls. We'll leave that for another day, because that's probably a really long
no, I'm not a vegan.
That's what brought the other daughter.
Yeah. Oh, dude, is she vegan? Anyway,
yeah.
I did it for like 5-6 weeks. I played around. We'll see what happens. This is to be continued. I'm still experimenting. I love diet. I think anything that's done today, I'll leave this here. I think anything that's done today is gonna be done better tomorrow. Whether you're boxing, wrestling, cutting weight, finding a new
That's
diet.
that's the next subject I want to talk to you about.
Anything that's being done today is going to be done better down the road, for the most part. There's
Right.
some things that are great that might stand the test of time.
Right.
But I would like to think almost everything that's done today is going to be done better in the future. We're going to find a more efficient way to do it.
So, like I said, I'm about 240 pounds, 6'1", 3/4, whatever. You stand about what, 6'2" and a half, 6'3",
Yep, just under 6 feet.
and you're about 210 right now.
Yep, I'm about 210.
You dropped to 185 to fight.
Oh, yeah, I'm usually up more like 225.
Really?
Yeah. Since I switched to that vegan diet, I lost a lot more. And in fact, I was going to bump up to 205. because
Yeah,
started
I was
building
thinking-
legs. I started getting bigger. I'm like, man, why do I drop this weight? It's literally when you drop the weight that I dropped.
This is what I want to know. How does it affect you?
Bad, negatively. You can't bitch about it. It is what it is. But when you feel like you have a fight, I call it the fight before the fight. When you feel like you have to fight to get that weight down, and you have a fight before you fight, you dehydrate your body, dehydrate your brain, you curl up in a ball, and like, it's amazing. I think part of the fun of it, and part of the fucking my craziness says,
Yeah.
fuck you, I want to cut some weight, you know? It's like, it's part of the challenge
Right.
is to see how much weight you can cut. Like,
Yeah.
how big is your, bring out the tape measure, let's see how much weight you can cut.
Dude.
Oh, I can cut more than that.
Fuck, dude. That's
So
insane.
part of it's the tape measure, but I think you lose some skill.
I walked around about 187-ish, and I'd cut to 169 to fight
Wow.
at 170s.
Pretty lean, pretty ripped. That's
When I did, and it was weird. I would start my cut about 6 weeks out, and that's how I'd make weight. But
Yeah.
I'd feel good though.
Hey, as long as you feel good. When you
How long do you usually take when you start your weight cut?
I try to keep the weight cut as like to the short term as possible. So
Really?
I'll start cutting out a little bit of sugar or a little bit of salt and stuff before I leave. So I'm always eating lean. Like I cut the sugar and the bullshit out. If you're wasted calories, I'm not eating you.
Right.
But for me, I guess to sum it up, I'd come up with an approach like I want to lose. The closer to the fight that I shed this weight off, and the longer I can stay at homeostasis, so my most happy position, healthy, happy, consuming enough, I try to keep up close as I can to the fight. And usually when I get to the week of, and this might change moving forward, I do more of like a ketogenic, low carbohydrate diet. So I was doing a lot of eggs and steaks and lean meats. But that's going to change now too. It's going to be a lot of greens and less protein and stuff and fuel. So I've got a lot to figure out in the diet. But historically, it's been that big cut, like 20 pounds a week of. You show up, I remove the carbohydrates the week before I start taking the salts out. I try to, I'll lose like probably 5 to 8 pounds during a week. Then I'm like, 13, 15 max, 10,
Yeah.
10 to 15, depending on what kind of a good job I did the night of. And I'll lose that 10 to 15 the night or the morning of. And then go to weigh-ins and try to rehydrate as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So I prefer to do it, most of it in the morning, right? So I'll
Gee.
lose maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds during the week, and I'll lose that last, 10 to 15 pounds that morning of right before weigh-ins. So I basically step on a scale, rehydrate, and let's go to war.
So, like for me, I'm going to give it for instance. When I'm bulking during the winter, like my goal this year is 260 pounds. I want to be 260. Last year, my goal was 250, and I've made that goal. But check this out. This is how I know my body's like, fuck you, dude. We're not genetically built to be that big. I'd go to fucking sleep 248. I'd wake up
240.
240. So it's like, how does your body kind of know when you're cutting weight, or does
Well,
it?
it's going to fluctuate. You're going to lose some hydration during the evening. Maybe at that 8-pound drop, maybe you want to pee or something. Your body has a lot of reactions that go on the
Fuck,
evening.
yeah.
That's why I try to avoid like the late night eating. And since I cut out the meat and I started doing more of the vegetation, I feel like my body is able to repair more during the evening.
Right.
Instead of work so hard to just digest food and build muscle. So, dude, there's such a science to it, and there's people that are going to preach on many sides of the nutritional and the exercise. But I think we're getting closer to what's what. And I can't wait to actually use the UFC Training Institute. I've
Yeah,
never
in
been to
Vegas,
it all my
right? I heard
years.
it's fucking crazy. Yeah, you've never been to it at all, though, huh?
Nope, I don't make it out there. Baby boy comes back. He's got all stars here. Probably like 2 weeks, and he goes to his mom's for a month.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my month to really, train and prepare for this next fight. Hopefully the rehab on my knee's done. I go out to the training institute. But I got great partners. I got great coaches, and I've got a fucking amazing attitude versus when I first started the sport.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get out there and fucking crack somebody's skull and just have some fun, dude. My last 2 fights, like I'm known as a dude that needs to take them down and mess them up. My last 2 fights, I haven't gone for a single takedown. The only time I put those guys in the ground was when I reversed them when they took me down. My stand-up's not quite where it needs to be. I had some other things going on, but people are gonna get fucked up. They're gonna be scared. I'm gonna maul them on the feet. I'm gonna get them on the ground. And I'm gonna show them my skinny little ass can do it, whatever weight class or wherever I go right now. Because I do.
I got 3 things in my head, and then we'll try to wrap it up.
No,
All
go
right?
ahead. Yes, sir.
So, you had mentioned about going up to 205. Okay, it worked for Daniel Cormier when he went to heavyweight. That no weight cut helped him to the point of he has more power.
Yeah.
You know, he's a lighter heavyweight, so he's quicker than most bigger heavyweights, and that showed when he knocked out Stipe.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think moving to 205 would better you, or would it?
and
The
it
205
might,
class is
part of
fucking
the-
deep right now, though. Too.
You think?
I do. You have John Jones who's controlling 205 no matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah, yeah.
But you just had Chris Weidman move up.
Oh, Wyden's up there now.
Yeah, Weidman moved up, and then there was another.
Oh, that's entertaining.
Yeah, and then Luke Rockhold moved up to 205 as well.
Seriously.
Yes, sir.
Damn, 85 is vacant these days.
Well, that's the other part of it.
No, that's honestly, it's not about what everybody else is doing. That's actually,
what
I think,
yeah.
too many athletes and too many fighters, too many people get this in their head. It's not what everybody else is doing. It's what the fuck you're gonna do to take the win and to get the W and to be the best you can be. That's one of the things I think that misses in MMA is we want to throw these guys out to the toughest opponents early. We want to scrutinize their technique and the things they're doing. MMA needs more of a building time for some of these athletes to get some of those early fights. Like dudes 0-2, 0-3, 0-5, like all these fucking boxers with 15 cheerleaders around them telling them how awesome they are. Because the psychology of it is huge. You don't make fucking excuses, but you go out there and you do the things that are going to show people success. Like Tyson, if he didn't have those dudes in his ear, like you see him before some of those fights, like how scared and nervous he was. This is one of the scariest dudes on the planet. But if you don't have those people around you that are composing themselves and giving out and emanating the right frequency, giving the appropriate psychology, you're not going to have your best opponent. So that's why I think some of the best coaches in the world, they got great technique, but there's also got to be a hype man that can control the emotions of the fighter, understand and commit and empathize whatever they're going through during that camp or in their life to make them successful.
Right.
They got to understand their personality to understand what they're made of.
All right. Well, the next thing I got for you, you say you train out of AZ Combat Sports. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is your home. You've decided to make residence here in
Oh,
Arizona.
yes. Baby boy's got a good school.
Right? So your son is the key to that. Have you ever thought about going to like a Greg Jackson's or going up to Canada for training camp or going to ATT down in Florida? Like you look at fighters like Kevin Lee, for instance, who will be here in Arizona training.
Was he at the lab?
At the lab.
Oh, the lab.
Yeah. Like you get fighters like that, and then once he leaves the lab, the word is that he's going up to Canada, to train with George St. Pierre's trainer. So have you ever thought about different camps and what those camps could do for you? Because in my heart of hearts, all bullshit aside, me knowing you, I think you have more potential than your projection.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm not saying
Thank you, senor.
No, I'm being dead serious. I'm not saying like that you project. I think people view you as one way, but I've watched your fights. Knowing that you were coming on this podcast, I fucking was like, you know what? I want to watch what he's done. And you, in my opinion, I could see a title fight in your future. Do I think you win that title fight? Not if John Jones is still there.
Yeah.
Or not
So
if...
you see me up at 205.
I do see you at 205
Yeah.
just due to your age.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Not having to cut the weight.
Don't cut the weight. Keep the power there.
Yeah, no, I've done so much in the past.
Dude, I'm
Way
telling
more
you, your
cutting than
boxing
any
has
of
come fucking so far, night and day,
Oh, yeah.
that I feel like if you kept the weight at 205, that power that you're going to generate is what's going to end fights.
And I appreciate that perspective, and I actually concur in a number of ways. But that weight's got to come from doing the right things and building my core and building my lower half, because I had a back surgery when I was like 20 when I first went to Iowa State. I've never been lifting legs and doing the right thing since. So part of the reason I think I'm having these knee injuries.
Come to me. I got you.
What? Shit, I'm down. I'm down for everybody, dude.
Yeah, my deadlift's 600 pounds. I squat 525.
Now,
so.
can you teach me to do the same without blowing my damn back out?
Or your knee.
Flexion, yeah, or my knee. So,
yeah.
like, dude, I need to do the Jane Fonda shit. I just need to bring the legs back in and do it. Yeah, for real. Jane Fonda's fucking silly.
Well,
but, dude,
we'll put on
things that
we'll
are
put
really
on some
cool.
Richard Simmons videos, bro.
Oh, well, shit,
how about that?
Bring it on. If I just get those tight little silky pants on, I'm all about it.
Right. I fucking love it, though, dude. Honestly, though, like, have you thought about training at other camps?
So I've trained in a number of other camps. I've trained at Greg Jackson's. I've trained with John Jones and all those guys down there. And for me, I think it's more just like finding a home and finding the right people, because I think I need the support group and the right people around me. It's not even about the technique at this point. It's about taking the things that I've learned, putting them all together, and having the right people around me to support me into that conflict and to bring me through it to the next like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights that you win in a row. And that's what is most necessary. I've been around a lot of technique and a lot of people at the top level, and I love to spar and like travel around, and I can't wait to go to the UFC training center. But I really think the psychology and having the right group around you and having some positive motherfuckers that know the appropriate technique.
Right.
Like, I'm in the right spot for that. I just got to find, link up with those coaches, invest more time and believe specifically in what they're saying and go out there and execute. Because it's been real close. I've just underperformed in the last couple of fights, and we're going to remedy it in the next one.
So do you feel you're a new you?
Nah, I think that's overused. I'm the old me, the same tenacious little fucking son of a bitch that's going to get in your face, but with a little better technique and a new improved back and lower body that's going to knock you in the teeth a little bit harder. Where before you saw double, next time you're just going to see, good night is where you need to put it. And if not good night, I put you on the ground where I make you feel a couple others, and I choke you out in a really cool way.
That's the best fucking answer ever.
Yeah. No, so with that being said, though, I told you I've watched your fights. I'm gonna bestow on you my fight name for you.
What's that?
And then you can use it if you want. And I would honestly be honored in your next fight if you came out with that nickname.
Well, let's hear what you got for nickname.
Dude, your fights are thrilling. You're the fucking thrill ride.
The thrill ride.
Trevor Thrill Ride Smith.
Oh, the girls are gonna love it.
The thrill ride.
That was really your name?
I swear to God, I watched your fights, and your fights are thrilling to me. You like to bang, bro.
It's gonna get better, dude. I can't wait to just show you the next one. It's like, even when I was talking, so Sean Shelby sets up all the fights. Even when I was talking to him last time, it's hard to like restrain and be like, yo, I've been training hard. I've been so fucking focused, man. I changed my diet. I just visualize the shit of knocking people's heads off. I can't wait to like show this new shit. Like, I'm not trying to just take people down and fucking beat their asses. I'm gonna do both.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking clip them on their feet and get them scared as shit. I'm gonna get them on the ground.
You got me hyped, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get
hyped.
them on the ground. I'm gonna start strangling fools. But they hear that shit all the time.
Yeah.
So sometimes you gotta keep it in. Like, you know what? It's better just to fucking show somebody.
Right.
So it's like, man, I hurt my knee. I can't wait to get back in there. And that's it.
Well, the other part of the thrill ride notation and name giving is there's another hot sauce out there.
Holtzman.
Yeah. That fucker. You guys should fight for that name.
You have to bump up, and I have to probably lose some weight with it.
Right? Yeah, but seriously though, man.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
I fucking love it. Well, Rob, you got anything for Trevor?
No, I'm good.
All I see is some.
That last statement was great for me.
Yeah.
It was all the alcohol.
Trevor Smith.
Yes, sir.
I fucking appreciate you coming on Whiskey Tango Talks, man.
I feel like there's gonna be more in the future.
Here. I know what my fuck producer's about to say. We have one rule about Whiskey Tango Talks that has stuck. Okay.
We need to take a big fat fucking shot at the end of the show.
No, but we can do that. We can do that.
Okay, go ahead.
I like
do
that.
one thing.
All right. We tell a joke on Whiskey Tango Talks.
Okay.
Give me a good joke that you got.
Fucking joke. God damn. I have
A good joke.
jokes.
A good joke.
I don't have stories, and especially in this moment, dude, I fucking wish you need to hit him on Twitter. But Burt Watson, on the story I told when he was telling these young bucks at the Seattle UFC, when he was telling these fools, when he was telling the story, because jokes are amazing. Like, I wish I was more of a jokester type dude.
Right.
But what makes jokes amazing is if it's a story. And the story I love that old Burt gave us, when he said, "Oh, you fucking young bucks, you think you made it." He's like, "You think this was hard getting here?
Stay here.
The motherfucking hard thing was staying here.
Yeah.
To get to the UFC is easy. To stay in this motherfucker, you gotta work." And then he'd be like, "We rolling!" And he'd roll straight down the hallway. But that guy would hype it up like none other.
I love it. Well, here's your fucking shot we asked for. Cheers to that.
Hey,
Trevor,
to you.
I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for sharing this
Seriously.
time with me.
Oh, dude. Thank you for sharing your time with the world. All right, man. Salute. That wraps up for Whiskey Tango Talks. Everybody that is tuning in, tag a fucking friend on our page. We're trying to donate. Go to patreon.com if you can. See what you can do for us. We're trying to fucking give back to charities. Do us a favor. Go to YouTube. Like, subscribe our page. Please and thank you. Follow us on Instagram. We are on Twitter as well. I know too many people don't tweet anymore, but if you can, tag somebody on Instagram. We love you. Have a good night.
Peace.
Yeah, right?